Welcome to the Quantum AI Coach podcast. I'm Gina, founder of Virtual World Coaching Academy.
So picture this scenario for a second, because I think we've all been here.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. You are sitting at your desk. It is like way too late in the evening.
Yeah.
You are completely exhausted, and that blue light from your monitor is just, burning your eyes.
It's the absolute worst feeling.
It really is. And you are staring at an email from a very demanding client. And they are asking for another revision, another little add-on, something that unequivocally falls under the category of scope creep.
Just a quick favor, right? That's what they always call it.
Yeah, exactly. Just a quick favor. But you have these demanding clients. You have this relentless expansion of what you promised to do, and you are just drained.
Completely tapped out.
Right. And if you are like most professionals in that situation, you probably think the solution to this problem is entirely external. You think, I need a more aggressive communication script.
Or maybe like a much sharper piece of copy on the website.
Yes. Or a totally rigid, ironclad contract to just protect your time and energy.
Which is incredibly common, right? I mean, it is the standard operating procedure for modern business advice.
It totally is.
The advice is always, if you feel encroached upon, build a taller fence, put up a thicker wall, add like 10 more clauses to your terms of service.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the material we are diving into today for this deep dive argues that this approach is, well, it's a complete myth.
A total myth. Your contract is not the problem at all.
Right. What you actually lack is the internal nervous system permission to hold a boundary without suffering what the sources call a post-boundary hangover of guilt.
That phrase is so spot on, the boundary hangover.
It really is. So if you have ever felt that sudden sinking pit in your stomach after saying no to a client, or if you've ever negotiated a higher rate and immediately felt this compulsive urge to apologize for it.
Or just randomly throw in freebies to make up for it.
Yes, exactly. If you do that, this deep dive is going to completely change how you view your own capacity for success. We're getting right into the intersection of business boundaries, wealth psychology, and neurobiology.
And it is such a necessary reframing, honestly, because we are deeply conditioned to look at the mechanics of our business,
Yeah, the systems, the operation.
Exactly, the client management protocols, the software stack. But we completely ignore the biological entity that is actually running all of those systems.
The human body.
Right. We ignore the body, and the body is where the real bottleneck to scaling your success actually lives.
So before we can even look at the biological cause of that hangover feeling, we really need to reframe how we view our own day-to-day business behaviors.
Oh, for sure. We have to look at the habits.
And specifically, this deeply ingrained habit of over-delivering. I mean, in the business world, over-delivering is practically a religion at this point.
It really is under-promise and over-deliver, right?
Yeah.
It's drilled into us from day one.
Right. But the research challenges this directly. It introduces this fascinating concept of the 15,000-pound a month plateau.
Ah, yes. The 15K plateau. This is where so many talented leaders just get stuck.
Yeah.
And it is described as hitting an invisible ceiling of compromise. When you are operating at this level, there is often a subconscious belief driving your actions.
What kind of belief?
Well, it is the belief that if you are going to maintain elite client intimacy, and if you're going to charge those premium rates, it inherently requires giving those clients operational access to your private life force.
Private life force. Wow. That is such a striking phrase.
It really hits home, doesn't it?
It does. And I think anyone listening knows exactly what that feels like. It's when a client doesn't just get your expertise between 9 to 5, they get your Sunday morning peace of mind.
Exactly. They are in your head all weekend.
Right. They get the mental energy you should be spending on your family because you are secretly agonizing over their project in the background of your actual life.
Precisely. It gets right to the core of why scaling feels so exhausting for some people. I mean, when you are operating at that level and you are constantly bending your own rules.
Answering emails at midnight.
Right. Throwing in extra coaching calls, unlimited revisions. You probably tell yourself a very noble story about it all.
Oh, yeah. You tell yourself you're just being generous. You're providing a premium, high-touch service.
Exactly. But boundaries are not defensive walls designed to keep hostile people out. They are the architectural density and really the structural integrity required to hold a much larger container.
Okay, I like that visual.
Think about the difference between holding a 15,000-pound container and a 500,000-pound container.
The material strength has to be vastly different.
Exactly. The physics change completely.
Let me play devil's advocate here, though, because I can hear the objections forming from our audience.
Sure, go for it.
Isn't going above and beyond just good business? Like, if someone is paying you a massive premium, shouldn't they get a premium level of access and flexibility?
It's a fair question.
Right. So where exactly is the line between being authentically generous with your clients and simply running what the material calls an energetic deficit?
So that is the critical distinction we have to make, and it really comes down to the origin of the action. True generosity comes from a place of surplus, grounding, and stability.
Like, your cup is full.
Yes. When you are truly generous, it feels expansive to you. You give because your cup is overflowing, but secretly over-delivering just to keep the peace,
Yeah, that feels different.
that is something entirely different. That means you are actively trading your energetic sovereignty for safety. You are giving more your time, your energy, your private life force, not because you genuinely want to, but because you are terrified of the client's reaction if you don't.
Oh, wow. So it's an appeasement strategy disguised as customer service.
Exactly. That is exactly what it is. And here's the brutal truth. If your physical body cannot hold the tension of a client's temporary discomfort when you enforce a limit, your business will actively reject high-ticket scale.
Wait, really? It will actively reject it?
Yeah.
You mean we will subconsciously push the success away?
Yes, to protect you. Reality, or the universe, whatever you want to call it, listens to your nervous system's capacity, not the words written in your contract.
That is heavy.
If the emotional weight of your own success is too heavy, if, like, every single boundary you set causes you immense internal distress and anxiety, your biological system will absolutely sabotage your growth.
Because it thinks growth equals pain.
Exactly. It will keep your business small to keep you safe from the emotional distress of managing larger, more demanding dynamics.
That makes so much sense. It's not that the client is breaking your boundaries. Your capacity to hold the boundary is what is actually broken.
Perfectly said.
Which leads us perfectly into the physical biology of this. Like, why does saying no feel so dangerous to us? Logically, we know the client isn't going to, physically attack us through the computer screen over a project scope.
Right, you're perfectly safe in your office.
Yeah, but our heart races and our stomach drops like we are in mortal peril. Why is that?
Well, this introduces the core mechanism at play here, which is the boundary hangover. It describes the intense somatic guilt that tempts leaders to immediately backpedal.
I think we have all been there. You muster up the courage to set a limit. You finally send the email saying, that additional request is outside the scope of our agreement, but we can do it for an extra charge.
The dreaded email.
Right.
Yeah.
You hit send. And then, like, 20 minutes later, the guilt just sets in like a physical weight.
And what do?
You follow up and say, actually, you know what? I'll just throw in these 3 extra bonuses for free. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
You compromise your own rule the absolute second you feel the tension.
And to understand why we do that, we really have to look at the work of researchers like Dr. Ronald Rudin. He studies psychosensory encoding.
Okay, psychosensory encoding. Let's break down how that actually functions in real time when you send that email.
So this is basically the science of how emotional traumas, memories, and rules for survival are physically encoded in our neurology based on past events. The key player here is the amygdala.
Right, which most people know is the fear and threat center of the brain.
Exactly. But it doesn't just look for physical threats like predators anymore. In humans, the amygdala stores threat responses based on 2 very specific, highly nuanced social dynamics:
And those are?
resource allocation and rank instability.
Oh, man. Here's where it gets really interesting. It's like our brain is running prehistoric survival software on modern business hardware.
That is a great way to put it.
Because logically, as modern professionals, we're just managing a project timeline. We're just telling a client we can't do a meeting on a Friday afternoon.
Right, very low stakes.
But because we are a deeply social species, our nervous system interprets a disappointed client as if, a vital resource is being taken away, or as if we are asserting dominance in a way that might get us kicked out of tribe entirely.
What's fascinating here is that the physical reaction you experience, that incredibly tight sensation in your stomach, the sudden flash of heat, your racing heart, that is not a sign that you made a business mistake.
It's not.
No. It is an automated compliance program. It is an evolutionary mechanism doing exactly what it was designed to do. It triggers a very old, deeply unconscious rule mapped into your nervous system.
And what does that rule say?
It says, When dynamics change, my position becomes uncertain.
Wow. When dynamics change, my position becomes uncertain. So asserting a boundary basically changes the dynamic from subservient to sovereign.
Right. You aren't giving in to the client because your business strategy is flawed or because you don't know how to negotiate. Your physical body is just trying to escape the profound emotional discomfort of being the authority.
Because standing your ground creates rank instability in your prehistoric brain.
Exactly. Your body calculates the risk and thinks, okay, if I assert dominance here, the client will leave, I will lose resources, and ultimately I will not survive.
It literally thinks you are going to die.
Yes. So it spikes your anxiety to force you back into a subservient, highly compliant role. It wants to restore the illusion of safety by just making you smaller.
It is just wild to think that giving away free work is actually a survival reflex.
It really is.
And to really cement how deeply this neurobiology runs, that this isn't just like some quirk of client management. We can look at a situation where these wealth triggers operate completely outside of business.
Oh, this is a brilliant illustration because it shows how these invisible tripwires function in the background of our personal lives,
Right.
entirely removed from contracts or deliverables.
Right. So imagine this scenario. A very close friend of yours calls you up. And this is an entirely equal friendship, right?
Yeah.
A normal, long-standing relationship where you both feel completely on par with one another.
Equal rank, essentially.
Exactly. But your friend opens their banking app and discovers a massive, completely mistaken deposit in their account. Just a huge, life-changing sum of money that the bank accidentally dropped in there.
Just sitting there.
Right. And they show you the phone, visibly shaken, going, look at this, can you even believe this?
So you look at the phone and yeah, the money is real. It's sitting right there as an available balance.
But the crucial part of this scenario is how you, the observer, react physically. I mean, logically, nothing has changed between you and your friend. They're the exact same person.
Right.
But the moment you see that massive amount of resources suddenly under their control, you feel an immediate tight pulling sensation in your stomach.
Which is the exact same physiological sensation as the boundary hangover we just talked about.
Exactly. Because your brain has instantly translated this mundane banking error into a survival story. The subconscious thought flashing through your amygdala is, they are rich now. My position is threatened.
It's incredible.
It is a completely irrational fear that because your friend suddenly possesses more resources, a violent power shift has occurred, and you are now at the absolute bottom of the hierarchy.
Which brings us right back to rank instability. I mean, the brain is obsessed with where you stand in the pecking order because historically the bottom of the order doesn't eat.
And this often traces back to past experiences with financial instability, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. If you grew up in an environment where losing earning power meant safety was lost, your brain formed a hardwired rule.
Which is?
When money dynamics change, my safety is lost.
So what does this all mean for you as the listener? How does feeling a ping of threat over a friend's accidental temporary wealth connect back to charging premium, high-ticket prices in your own business?
It connects because the internal mechanism is literally identical.
Yeah.
If your nervous system equates any shift in wealth or any shift in power dynamics with a loss of safety, it will relentlessly block you from acquiring wealth or assuming power.
It will just shut you down.
Yes. What you have to do, and what is absolutely required to actually scale, is use psychosensory awareness to sit with that tight sensation. You have to process that emotional imprint until a new truth surfaces from your own inner wisdom.
And what is that new truth?
The new truth has to be this: I don't need to be subservient to serve. I can be relational and respected at the exact same time.
I don't need to be subservient to serve.
Wow.
Wow. That is a massive paradigm shift because so many service providers just completely conflate serving with servitude.
They do. And it is the single most important shift required to sit across from large numbers or, high-profile clients without shrinking.
Yeah.
If you still subconsciously believe you have to remain slightly below your client to be safe, if you have to play the obedient, ever-available servant, you will never be able to hold a premium container. Your nervous system will hit the panic button every single time you try to act like an equal or an authority.
So this brings us to the most practical, actionable part of our deep dive. We have diagnosed the root cause.
The prehistoric software.
Yes. We know we have this prehistoric survival software that equates setting boundaries with getting kicked out of the tribe.
Okay.
So how do we actually fix it? How do we practically update our system's capacity so we can build what is called sovereign architecture and actually hold this elite space?
Well, There is a very specific 3-step strategic protocol for rewiring this response. And it begins with step 1, which is identify the energetic deficit.
So identifying it basically means radical self-awareness. It means you have to stop lying to yourself about why you are bending over backward for your clients.
No more noble stories.
Right. You have to look at your actions and ensure your values are front and center. So you are responding from a place of self-respect, not from a trauma-driven need to just keep the peace. You have to look at where you are over-delivering and label it cleanly.
Yes, literally label it.
You literally say to yourself, this extra free revision is not generosity. This is an automated safety strategy because I am scared they will be mad.
Calling it what it is strips away the facade we use to justify our own people-pleasing. But, just labeling it doesn't actually stop your heart rate from spiking when you hit send on that firm email.
No, definitely doesn't.
Which brings us to the actual physical rewiring in step 2, which is practice somatic discomfort tolerance.
Which sounds incredibly daunting, honestly. How do you actually practice tolerating something your brain thinks is lethal?
It requires deep intention. When you implement a boundary, when you finally tell that demanding client, no, we won't be doing that extra revision without a new contract, you have to expect that the boundary hangover will come.
You just have to know it's going to happen.
Exactly. You cannot avoid the physiological response. The anxiety will spike, your stomach will tie itself in knots, your mind will absolutely race with worst-case scenarios.
And the usual automatic reaction is to immediately grab the phone, right?
Yeah.
To message the client, apologize, soften the blow, and just make the discomfort stop.
Right. But that is exactly what you cannot do. Step 2 dictates that you do not try to fix the anxiety by messaging the client. You do not offer free work to soothe your own nervous system.
Okay, so what do you do instead?
Instead, you physically sit down, you get comfortable, you close your eyes, and you observe the sensation in your body as an objective observer. You locate where the tightness is. Maybe it's in your chest, maybe it's in your throat, and you just watch it like a movie playing on a screen.
What does watching it like a movie actually do, neurologically speaking?
Crucially, it separates the physical feeling from the narrative. You do this without attaching a story of shame, failure, or impending doom to the physical feeling. You are just letting the body feel the fear of rank instability without taking any action to fix it.
You just let the wave of anxiety wash over you. You literally sit in the fire until the body realizes, oh, wait, I didn't die. The client said, okay, the sky didn't fall. I'm still safe.
Precisely. You are utilizing neuroplasticity. You are physically proving to the amygdala, through lived experience, that holding a boundary does not equal death.
That makes total sense.
Every time you survive the hangover without giving in, you weaken that old prehistoric rule, which naturally leads to the final step, step 3. Clear the emotional imprints. Once the panic subsides, this is where you actively shift the internal dialogue.
You turn that negative, panicked conversation inside your head into an alignment with your actual truth. You ask your higher wisdom very specific questions to re-encode the brain.
Exactly.
You ask, can I receive high-ticket wealth without losing my control? Can I be visible? Can I be firm and remain completely sovereign? You have to consciously allow your neurology to adjust to the reality that expansion is actually safe.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it reveals that capacity isn't about becoming someone entirely new to hit the next level of wealth. It's not about transforming into this ruthless, unfeeling corporate shark who just doesn't care about their clients.
It's simply about becoming someone who is uncompressed.
Exactly. When your nervous system no longer equates wealth, power, or boundaries with conflict and instability, you stop unconsciously sabotaging your own scale. From this uncompressed, sovereign space, expansion isn't something you have to exhaustingly pursue anymore. It is something you finally just contain.
This is where it gets real. We've spent the last 15 minutes talking about nervous system capacity and client boundaries, but let's be honest. You can't hold an elite business container if your internal system is still treating a client's temporary discomfort as a threat to your survival.
No, you really can't.
It's like trying to build a multi-million-pound skyscraper on a foundation made of sand. If you felt that invisible ceiling of compromise today, where you keep over-delivering just to keep the peace, you aren't alone, but you are entirely responsible for re-architecting your container.
Exactly. And that's the perfect transition into what Gina Pickersgill is doing over at the Virtual World Coaching Academy. She isn't just talking about project management strategy or giving you generic boundary scripts.
Right.
She's helping high-performing leaders rewire the actual neurobiological frequency of their wealth and somatic capacity.
So if you're ready to stop the energetic leaks
Yeah.
and end the post-boundary hangover of guilt for good,
Yeah.
you need to check the description right now. First, there's the Heal Your Money Wounds workshop. This is exactly where you go to expand what your system feels safe to hold, receive, and contain without contracting.
Second, for the coaches and mentors tuning in, you have to try her AI-driven Burden to Boundary Coach assessment. It's a precision tool designed to look at your operational language patterns and show you exactly where your private life force is being drained by your clients.
But before you click those links, do the sovereign thing right here. If this perspective shifted something in your body today, hit the like button. It signals the algorithm that this is the frequency we're playing at. Subscribe and hit that bell notification, because in 2026, operating with absolute internal alignment isn't just an option. It's the only way to scale sustainably.
And as you walk into your next client meeting, I want you to ask yourself, is the price you are charging today a reflection of the actual value of your work? Or is it just the exact maximum amount your nervous system currently feels safe enough to hold?
Now, go reclaim your space. We'll see you in the next one.
So when Gina offered me the opportunity to do this, I jumped for it, because I think anything that you can do that is going to chip away at these limiting the beliefs of things that hold you back is really, really worth doing. So it's been a really lovely experience, and if anybody's a bit worried about it, just do it, because the opportunity to connect through havening is really, really powerful. It's really, really powerful.
But really helpful, I think, in terms of having that kind of guided process just to kind of let the ideas and the feelings and the images flow, and then try and work out what it actually means afterwards, and to come up with, and it made intuitive sense. It's really, really helpful to then kind of have that debrief of, okay, what can we actually do with this stuff? Because that's where we tend to get stuck, is kind of like coming out of it going, oh, this is all some really interesting ideas and thoughts and feelings and images. But yeah, then, how can we actually harness them to do something different? And I think that's been really, really helpful in terms of clarifying really what I need to prioritize to go forward in a way that will deal with some of that stuff that came up.
I would like to point out that I'm actually a therapist myself, and sometimes therapists also need a therapist. So I was really stuck, and then one day a friend posted a link for Gina's wealth and money attracting short course, and I went, this sounds great, I'm just gonna book it. And I loved it so much. I really had an epiphany on that course, and it was only meant to be a demonstration, and yet it was really it just opened up possibilities that I was stuck before, and now like, ooh, I can use this to unstuck myself. I'm a great believer that when the student is ready, the teacher appears, and you appeared at the right time. That's all there is to it. So, if anybody is watching this video, it means Gina has appeared in your life. So please give her a try.
She walks where the sky